Great. Hi, good morning. My name is Teddy Kinyanjui from Cookswell Jikos in Seed Balls, Kenya. We make energy-saving Jikos of all types. I'm sure everyone's familiar with this original Kenya ceramic Jiko that we have here. This was now the grandfather, so to speak, of all of these different designs of charcoal ovens, barbecues, and which has led us into the tree planting side of the program. What's available here is every type of solution for all of your home cooking or business needs. We make anything from small, tiny little barbecues like this one that you can use just at home for doing a bit of mushkaki, all the way up to massive commercial barbecues like this one for restaurants and camps, different types of businesses. These are our leading products at the moment is the charcoal baking oven. And so being able to bake your bread, make pizza, roast meat, just using a small handful of charcoal in one of these ones is really, really helpful for so many people because it's a lot cheaper, it's reliable, you never have to worry about power cuts and stuff. And if you're using them for roasting nyama, people love the way the taste comes out. Because you can also do baked potatoes, melenges, sweet potatoes at the same time as your favorite cut. The focus had started off with energy-saving Jikos, and what that led us to realize was even with an efficient stove, we still need to start thinking about planting trees, and planting trees on a huge scale in order to start replacing what's been cut for nyama choma over the years. So what we've started is a new product called Seed Balls, Kenya. These are a very straightforward thing. It's an indigenous tree seed coated inside of a ball of waste charcoal dust. So we get where they sell charcoal in the markets, we buy that dust, we buy the seeds from KEFRI, the Kenya Forest Research Institute, and then match different species of trees and also indigenous grass to different parts of Kenya. And what people can do is people can get, their own brand if they want it branded as corporate giveaways. Many people do small little packets for weddings and events and parties like Secret Shamba, all the way up to building seed distribution into their day-to-day work. So like we've been happy to partner with amazing people like Sheldricks and Savo. When they're doing anti-poaching patrols, they're able to take indigenous tree seeds, match them to the right area, and when they see charcoal making happening, plant seeds. The same thing with like Summit Seekers Kenya, who are probably a really great number one hiking company, and they get people out walking around different parts of Kenya, and they also do seed distribution while they're doing that. So we have a selection of different types of indigenous trees to Kenya, and what we always focus on is we ask people, what are the trees that they're cutting down in your backyard? Which ones are being cut for charcoal? Plant more of that same type. Because that means it grows there naturally and it means they're being over-harvested usually. So we very much encourage people to not only plant indigenous trees, but we also do indigenous grasses for pasture improvement in dry land places. So we have quite a few of the more popular, very palatable grasses for livestock, for even wildlife and stuff, for dry land areas. And so we work on both sides of that chain for ensuring a sustainable supply of charcoal and also that we can make sure Kenya's livestock is nice and fat. What inspires what I do? It's a bit of a hard philosophical question, I guess, but the main thing I would say that really inspires me is other people, that's being able to travel around, meet so many people in Kenya doing so many amazing things. It's hard not to be inspired to work harder and think harder and come up with new ideas when you see what everyone else is up to. And so, I'd have to say a big thank you out there to all the people who've helped us over the years and inspired us to do all this work that we're doing. The reception's been really good in the market. For a lot of the products, innovation is always a bit of an interesting thing to bring to the market because for new types of products, especially cooking and anything to do with how people cook, that's almost a sacred sort of thing of how your mom or how your grandmother taught you how to cook something. Now, when you have a change of technology, you have to be very careful to encompass correct feedback from your end users. And even things as simple as Jiko that's slightly taller or slightly shorter, maybe someone doesn't want to bend down, maybe someone else likes bending down when they cook. So, a lot of that customer feedback, getting that correct is a very, very key part of things. with the seed balls, and that being our newest sort of big program. Innovation again, people want to see instant results, but trees grow slowly. So there's a bit of that balance. And, it's one of those things with the standard small business challenges that one always faces. But I think our biggest probably hurdle that there's nothing you can do about it is time for all of these things. And time truly tells how good a design you have or how good of a product you have. The whole sort of principle behind all of it, my late father, when he grew up in a small village in Githunguri in Kiambu, he was so lucky to have been smart enough to get into a good scholarship, go to the States, get a PhD. And the thing his whole life that always he remembered as a kid growing up was how difficult it was for his mom, for my grandmother, to cook. And, collecting firewood on rainy days, the smokiness, 3 stones, pots being unstable. And for him, it was that experience of watching his mom having so much trouble cooking and knowing that he could create technology to help tackle those problems that has been the driver of our entire business ever since, pretty much. For challenges with business, again, of course, it's been so interesting doing this personally myself for the last, 15, 20 years, seeing how communication was always such a big issue at one point. And then as the world got more digital and we had all of these tools to be able to do simple things like send a picture of a WhatsApp of the size of the rivet to make sure it's the right one rather than driving to industrial area and back. So, it's been so interesting being able to try to mobilize as much as possible all of these new tools and technology that are, becoming more and more reasonably accessible and affordable for people, like smartphones and connectivity through WhatsApp and, of course, M-Pesa, the saving grace for any small business in Kenya. And so all of those other challenges that, we'd faced for so many years, I can remember when we first started doing this, being able to face them with a greater toolbox of more useful things has been a big saving grace, definitely, for our progress and being able to grow the company how we'd like to do it. One of the other big challenges, of course, is when, one looks at, as you're growing a small business, finding the right personnel, and being able to have family who's very supportive, my 2 older sisters, meeting people like Joseph, who I hope we can get to say a word later, who, that's what builds anything to actually be able to work in the long term. And, it's one of those things that it's as you grow and as you start becoming able to correctly face a lot of those challenges. But, that's also part of the name of being an entrepreneur, is there's always something new waiting for you around the corner. So you take it as much as you can one day at a time and, get lots of support from your peers, your family, your friends, your business networks, to help face all of those different challenges. For the notable moments in recent history, for me definitely at least, would be the first time one of the seed ball videos went viral. And, waking up and actually seeing something about your work passing 40 million views with thousands of comments, that's just so surprising in this digital day and age. And so that was really something. For us, definitely the best moment of doing any of this is when you get that really good heartfelt feedback from someone who says, I cooked the best meal of my life with my family last night using one of your Jikos, or we planted those seed balls and now the trees are coming up to my waist or whatever. And when you get good, really nice heartfelt feedback from your customers, especially repeat ones, people you've known for many years, it's one of the best things about being a small business owner. My feelings on where the cottage industry in Kenya is, I really think there's so much opportunity. There are people making some of the most incredible high quality goods just around your neighborhood, just around the corner, and yet we're still importing and sometimes even subsidizing importing inferior manufactured goods from overseas. And I really hope, and we come to see this dream of the Made in Kenya flag being waved very highly and people being very, very proud about buying stuff that's made locally by people in your community. And I think we could not push this enough, I really feel like, of how important it is in this day and age to support things that are locally made in Kenya. Anyone out there who is interested in getting into environmental jobs in the green collar industry, our biggest advice would be inspired by nature. Get out there, observe and learn, and you'll be amazed what just seeing our incredible natural history in Kenya will be able to teach you in life.